So I was out with my friend in London and we just had this amazing Chinese meal. Absolutely bonita, muy rico, fabuloso. And I paid for that meal. So she was like, listen, I want to buy you drinks, so next round's on me. So we left the restaurant and we went searching around for a place to have the drinks because we didn't know the area too well. Then we stumbled across this restaurant and on their billboard outside it said £15 for a bottle of Prosecco. We were like, right, deal. That sounds awesome because we could probably get like 3 glasses each out of that, making the drink like what, £2 each? Fantastic. So we went in there and we had a great time drinking down that really well tasting Prosecco. You know that Prosecco that tastes almost like champagne, but not at the champagne prices? That was that. So actually we ended up buying 2 bottles. So then we asked for the bill and the receipt and we looked at it and it was like, whoa, that bill wasn't £30. It was a lot more. It said 20% service charge. And in that moment, I felt so scammed and deceived. And this is why I think service charges should be illegal in restaurants because they know what they're doing. They know because they automatically put it there and you theoretically can say you want it off the bill. They know that you won't because it's embarrassing. They're using social embarrassment. They're using peer pressure. They're using bad business practice to pretty much force you to pay that 20% bill. Because if you're with a business client, you're gonna look bad. If you're with a date, you're gonna look bad. If you're with your dates, like your mother-in-law, your father-in-law, your brother-in-law, and you ask to set it off, you're gonna look bad. And they know what they're doing. So they deceive us by telling us one price, but then once we get in there, it's another price. I think that is absolutely disgusting. And if those types of same service charges happen in other businesses, it would never run. But for whatever reason, we in the West, we are now accepting these service charges openly. And I think this needs to stop. Obviously, it's not exactly fraud, but I would put it almost as fraud because I really genuinely thought the bill would be £30 because it said £15 each. Now, if I want to tip my waiter, I'm gonna do that. But the key there is, if I want to, it has to be a voluntary contribution. The service charge that's added by default strips you away of free choice. It's almost like taking away free speech. And it's like, well, my business is struggling, this restaurant industry is really hard. Well, all businesses are struggling. Many people want more money for their businesses, but that doesn't mean we could just add 20% service charge as we want to. That's nuts. Like, imagine going to buy a car and the car is £50,000 and you're like, yeah, it's a good deal, bang, boom, boom, yeah, great, you have your champagne, he gives you a few snacks, and then he comes up with the contract now. He says, sign dotted line. And it says, total bill for the car, not 50 grand, 60 grand. And you're asking, why is that? He's like, well, listen, it's our service charge. Do you think that, I gave you all those drinks and snacks for free? You think that wine was cheap? Nah, that's part of our service charge. Your bill's 60 grand. There you go. You'd be like, yeah, right, bro. See you later. If you want to make more money in your business, then simply add those prices into your menu. Don't deceive customers by telling them, oh my gosh, this is our great deals. Next thing you know, you see the end of the bill, bang, it's more than you think it is. Nuts. I run a company, I could never get away with that. My clients would be furious. But for whatever reason, service charges are completely run-of-the-mill. And we're accepting it. I say boycott any place that has them. And they say, well, in America, waiters aren't paid enough. And that's where tipping culture even came from, really. Tipping culture started from America, really, because in America, certain states, if I believe correctly, they either pay them really low, like $4 an hour, specifically for waitresses and waiters, or nothing at all. The business model in those states is you make up your salary by getting tips. And I think that's just nuts. If I can remember correctly, there was good reasons for having that when that time was there, back in those days. But guess what? Time moves on. Things change. And in today's culture, it's like simple as this. If you want to make the correct amount of money for your business, make the correct amount of prices. Do not deceive people by offering great cheap deals and then bang, Well, I'm gonna get pissed off at you because, I'm your waiter. I work so hard for you. And it's like, whoa, I was smiling. I was giving you jokes. I brought your drinks here quickly. And you're not giving me a tip. Side eye. Boom. Nuts. So what do you think about the tipping culture? What do you think about service charges, which is even worse? Because I think it's tipping culture, it's voluntary. But with service charges, a lot of the time, they just add it to the bill by default. And the only way to get rid of it is by telling them directly to get rid of it. What other business do you have optional extras and you have to tell them to get rid of the optional extra instead of telling them to add the optional extra? That's nuts. So for me, I ain't going to that restaurant ever again. And, in that restaurant that I went to, she was a lady and stuff, and she was kind of shy. Oh my gosh, Hezron, no, don't make no drama. I said, listen, babe, take off that service charge. I told the waitress, take it off. I have no shame because I'm a cheapskate. I'll be real. I'm cheap. The bill came to £36. I said, all I've got to do is tell the waitress, take it off, and we save £6. Bang, I'm in. And it's like with service charges, I don't know that the money that I'm even paying is going to go to the waitress that even served me. I asked the waitress, she said it will be split all among us. But I was like, now, if I was going to pay it, I would have wanted to go to you alone. That's the impression that I had. So if I'm going to do tipping or service charges, I'm going to pay it directly and probably in cash straight to the waitress or the waiter. I've heard a lot of cases, some restaurants, what they do is actually take that money and keep it to themselves. I don't know if that's illegal or not, but there's not an easy way for governments to check if they're giving all of their service charges to their employees. And how is that supposed to be split? Is it 50% goes to the waitress, 10% to the chef, the rest to the company? We don't know as a consumer how that money is even being split to begin with. Maybe they're taking it all for themselves. Maybe they're taking it and giving it all to the staff. I don't know. But I have a funny suspicion most restaurants are doing that, one, to deceive us, to lure us and put people through the door, and two, to take most of that service charge profit for themselves. Because that's clean profit. That's additional revenue that comes out of nowhere. Thin air. It's like free interest. Imagine getting 20% APR on your credit card. Most people wouldn't even deal with a credit card that high. But in a service charge industry, oh, we love it. It's cool because we're ashamed to do it in front of our friends and family. Let's get rid of the service charge once and for all. This is the Hezron Springer Show.